All right, YouTube. Going to get a two for today. Team Foco brought up a point in the last video talking about hardened perimeter structures capable of stopping a vehicle, talking in particular on private property, which leads us to our problem currently. And I'm going to use the example of the gas station, your gas pumps that we're currently looking at with what's going on, being a very difficult area to prevent mayhem on and damage to. And what I bring this up is analyzing the threat and possible threat and the escalation based upon what's happened the last two nights and what's been potential threat is out there. Going off of that is what I'm looking at. So you had the escalation last night. Is it going to escalate further? You have to be prepared for that. And one thing in particular to take note of is 2 nights ago when they went to one of the dealerships, they were stealing cars and attempting to steal cars, which makes the threat of a potential vehicle weapon, a weapon as a vehicle as a weapon, real. And these locations very vulnerable. If somebody really wants to get after the gas station. After the altercation last night, this might become a prime target. If you're looking at defending it, we talked about roping it off. That's going to be my dash line, is having that perimeter marked off and to deny entry or to warn of entry at least. And now you're going to have to take it to the next step if you're looking to potentially have a vehicle threat that is intended on taking out, we'll say here, the pumps, right? A real situation I think that somebody might want to consider out there is this escalation potential and being ready to deny entry, deliberate entry, using that vehicle as a weapon. And what you're going to need some really heavy material, right? Southern Prepper 1 did some good videos a while back on putting in aesthetically pleasing planters and stuff around your property, concrete and other things to harden your perimeter. This is going to be a different problem. Your business owner is probably going to want something that's movable back and forth out of you. So it's typical you got an entrance and an entrance, and these are like grass areas or maybe a small curb to get into an area like this. So you're primarily going to want to focus on those entryways, right? But if somebody's intent, they can still drive over the curb or something right here, especially with a heavier vehicle, right? To get right at the pumps. Most pumps are designed to have protection from accidental collisions, but anything coming from the side in particular. So you might have to want to look at lining the whole side with what you have available. And this becomes really problematic. You could use personal vehicles, but know that they would probably have the windows broken out shortly during the rioting. So it's a hazard you're going to have to take potentially. If you had any old farm trucks, farm equipment, bulldozers, backhoes, tractors, all those things could be used in a perimeter to deny that kind of access from a vehicle approach. Expedient methods, it's really hard to put an expedient barrier out there. It takes large numbers of sandbags. It takes, this is something, if you got a curb right here, you could permanently put in a sandbag barrier potentially. You can use like large containers from Home Depot or Walmart, fill them full of sand. That gets a little more bulk in there, but they're going to be there, permanent essentially until you're able to empty all that out. So you could line those across here, 2 or 3 deep. That would be a lot but if you put containers, if you spaced them out, say they're like like 2 by 3, something like that. Well, my pen just gave out on me. Another color is useful anyway. If you spaced them out in a way to get you could leave about a 1 to 2 foot section in between each one, so that either a vehicle would hit it with the wheel or high center as potential. And you could stack them too high. That's an example of something expedient other than sandbags that I can think of. You can fill them with water. Water can be drained easier from things like that. What else is out there? I guess use your imagination. But I think from analyzing the threat of what's going on, and center around this gas station issue where they've already had an altercation with the mob and the potential for a vehicle as a weapon type scenario is something everybody could think about if you're looking at doing something in protecting property, is how you're going to deny vehicle entry, deliberate vehicle entry, not just accidental, which is a little easier actually, and actually getting a hardened perimeter. Again, you can use your own vehicles and own equipment, but putting something out there that, taking out their usual avenue of approach daily, which the business owner probably won't clear it out daily or in the regular hours, for business. And then the other harder access avenues, you could put something a little more permanent, maybe not be aesthetically pleasing, especially in the near term. Find a way to dress it up maybe. But a vehicle coming at you 30, 40 miles an hour, depending on what the curves and what the road looks like. I think it's like a divided or a 3-lane highway, I think, up here. Across from this gas station, it's like got a turn lane in the middle of 2 lanes. Typical city street, probably 35 mile an hour speed limit, something like that. It's going to be difficult, but it's a consideration. I think when you're looking at the analysis of what's been going down, this could become a flashpoint, and it's something that they're obviously wanting to protect. And I think you would. Taking out means of things like this are all insurgent activities. So there's something to think about, YouTube or Wisconsin. Live free.